if you want to survive in the sport of boxing, you need to have integrity. And right now, if you want to get paid, you need to have Eddie Hearn, to be specific. Because Eddie Hearn is out here, man, proving that he's got the secret to success. You look at Anthony Joshua, Dillian White. You look at the money he's made for Derek Chisora. Now, Derek Chisora's career should have been over a long time ago. You look at what he's done out there establishing Matchroom out there in Japan, in Australia, the footprint that he's created here in the United States, and all the money that he was able to get for somebody like Canelo. And Canelo was already making dough, but he got him some serious money over there in the UK. He got money for Triple G. He even got money for Tevin Farmer, Jesse Vargas, Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs didn't know what to do with himself. He was bragging on camera. I'm making M's. And he wouldn't have been able to do that if Eddie Hearn, who I'm calling Eddie, wasn't keeping his word. And that's why Anthony Joshua, people were saying that Anthony Joshua was stupid to sign his career away to Eddie Hearn. This is crazy. Eddie Hearn in the zone. Anthony Joshua got to fight the rest of his life. Oh, he's not going to make money. He's dumb. He's missing out on opportunity to go fight on PBC. Anthony Joshua hasn't missed a beat. And that has a lot to do with Eddie. You understand? Keeping his word and making sure his flagship fighter, like he takes care of all his fighters, but he makes sure his flagship fighter is being advised in the best interest of the direction the fighter's career is at and where it needs to go. And also, for the business with Matchroom. Now, let me tell you something. When you talk about Bob Arum, right? He's been around the sport for a while. And I'm not saying Eddie Hearn doesn't have his secret society connections. He sure as hell does. But I think everybody does when it comes to boxing. But you look at guys like Bob Arum, he's still plugging along. Golden Boy, somehow plugging along. But Oscar De La Hoya, he does a lot of work out there, and Mexico in particular. But Oscar De La Hoya, no matter what he has done that has detracted from his image, he's still the Golden Boy. So the whole damn United States, matter of fact, the whole world fell in love with Oscar De La Hoya in the Olympics. Gold medal. Story about his mom dying. The boy did it. The boy went and won the gold medal for his mother. People fell in love with that shit. And no matter what he does, they still see Oscar De La Hoya as that young man who, won that damn gold medal in the Olympics. But long story short, I think Oscar's always going to be all right as long as he's doing business anywhere, because he is seen as the Golden Boy. Now, when you look at these other guys who, popped up and gone away, there have been some inconsistencies there with them. But long story short, I think integrity goes a long way. And what you tell your fighter you're going to do and actually deliver, I think that goes a long way. And when you look at what's going on right now in boxing, and a lot of the guys who should be fighting, not fighting, it makes you wonder, was there a misstep along the way for, let's say, PBC? But then you hear a guy like David Benavidez come out and say, hey, look, I'm not going to fight on any other network because I'm not leaving, PBC. But then he talks about the kind of money he's been making for 7 years straight. It tells me that Al Heyman, he also has integrity. It's just us on the outside looking in feel like guys aren't fighting, so shit's falling apart. But maybe those guys are making the kind of money to where they could have retired 3-4 years ago. So they're just like, whatever. Everybody out here is making this 30-40 million. Maybe those guys are making 10 to 15 million a fight just because of how Al Heyman had all of his fighters structured at LLCs, and he just advised them and made sure they were able to get money, not just from pay-per-view, from the live gate, from other modes of revenue, sponsorship deals, investors, all kind of different things, man. So maybe these guys are making the kind of money that Adrian Broner was talking about that we as the fans weren't aware of. And that's why no one over at PBC seems to be complaining about not fighting. But long story short, for guys at PBC who maybe want to be more active, I truly think if anyone's gonna go and sign with another promoter, As long as they have the right profile, because Eddie Hearn looks at all that. I'm just thinking, Integ Eddie is the direction a lot of these guys should go. He's got a huge network behind him, serious money there behind him, and Eddie Hearn is willing to do whatever it takes to get a promising fighter over there to his team and to take care of him and get him paid. Because at the end of the day, the fighters want to get paid and they want to fight. And Eddie Hearn wants to make sure that his fighters, they get a return on their fighters, because that's good business for his company. So it's a complementary relationship. It sometimes can be supplementary, but at the end of the day, it works. And you look at Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn. Anthony Joshua's made damn near $400 million from the sport of boxing. Some people say, "Oh, that number's high. It's less than that." Look, I don't know, but from what I'm hearing, he's made over $400 million since he's become a pro. With all his investments, he's bubbled up now in 2024 to around $800 million net worth. Now, take that shit with a grain of salt. Bottom line is he's paid. Eddie Hearn has a lot to do with that. And going forward, that's why Anthony Joshua will not leave Eddie Hearn. He's not leaving Eddie Hearn. He's not leaving Matchroom. He's signed exclusively to DAZN. And when you look at right now, a guy like AJ and his personality, and I mean, that's the kind of individual you want to be the face of a sport. And I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying he hasn't made mistakes. But goddamn it, compared to everyone else in the sport of boxing, Anthony Joshua is a saint. But at the end of the day, he's got the right team around him. And they're all on the same page, and they understand this is a business. And there are times where maybe you got to kind of trek off course, stir things up a bit, but you always come back on course and you travel the path of being a professional. And I truly believe that is why Eddie is doing so well and why AJ has done so well and continues to do well. And as long as you got the Saudis over there, I think right now for any fighter who Eddie Hearn shows an interest in, who's available to come and work with Eddie for a couple fights, I think they should do it. Especially if they can get the contract for Eddie Hearn to deliver a fight for them in Saudi. But that's all between Eddie Hearn to work that out with Turki Al-Sheikh. But, these fighters with these huge names, I just think, one fight over in Saudi for a little 20-25 million, if they can work that out. I mean, that's crazy. They may never get that fight over here in the States, especially the way pay-per-view is so fickle and unpredictable. I think guys should go the way where there's a little bit more reassurance as far as activity and the money. And if you want that, you need someone who's honest. That's why I say Integ Eddie is the direction I think a lot of these fighters should go. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua, a good example of what a promoter and fighter relationship should look like, because you don't see too many of these guys who are fighters hugged up on their promoters. Let me see. I've seen Bob Arum damn near tongue kiss Lomachenko, so obviously he's taking care of Lomachenko. And I've seen Canelo, I think he blew a kiss. at Eddie Hearn. But anyway, that's some whole nother level shit. But the bottom line is, they appreciate what the promoter has done for them so much that they want to show them their affection or whatever. Anyway, I'm in the breeze.